Well, let's see. I've made many videos about Islam, Christianity, Judaism, religion in general. And a cult is a cult is a cult. How could an intelligent young woman, a Canadian woman, just like an American woman, how could you actually read? I mean, who told you what that book said? And that's what I want to know, because I know you can't read it. Okay, it's impossible for you to have read that book. It's not in your language. It's not in Arabic. It's in some weird old Arabic, Aramaic or something. I think anyway. Anyway, they have what they call the Hadith, blah blah blah, and they can explain it to you, but they're going to explain it in their way to make it look good to you. Don't you get that? So no matter it doesn't whatever it is, you believe that there's a superhero in the sky. That's basically what it is. And now you're trying to find the right group of people that define that superhero correctly. Is that basically what religion is about? You're looking for your superhero and you're trying to define it. If there really is this I know I keep saying superhero, but I don't know what else to say, because there are no gods. Okay, you're having a delusion. It's delusional. I'd like to look up a video about a lady. Her name is Wafa Sultan. She'd like to have a couple of words with you about true Islam. Okay, being a Muslim is one thing. That doesn't mean you have to join the freaking religion and have to sit behind the men. You know why? Do you? Do you get into it enough to understand it? I mean, really understand it? See, because they'll tell men different things than they'll tell women. The Muslim community, the men, they feel we think the way they do. Yeah, they seem to have this idea in their head that if they see a woman's curves, they have to seduce her. They look at it as like an order from their god or something. It's just the craziest thing I ever heard. How do I know? I asked. It's that simple. I asked this Muslim guy. I said, "Hey, listen, what's the big deal with you praying up front and the women have to pray in the back?" Well, we keep the women praying in the back so that we can focus on our prayers and on Allah and not on the curves of the woman. What? I mean, come on. They're admitting they have no willpower. They're admitting that they're a culture of rapists, and that if you leave a woman standing in front of them, according to them, they must seduce you. That's just stupid. And that's for praying in the mosque. That's one of the idiocies that I found. And it's all about worshiping some delusional character anyway. No, the Bible isn't any better. Don't get me wrong. Don't you dare. Don't you even go there with me. I'm not going to compare the two. Neither one of them are correct. They're both heinous. They'd be X-rated books if they were sold as fiction. I got to do what I did. Go down to your nearest Barnes and Noble, take all the Bibles and Torahs and everything, and put them over in the science fiction section. Yeah, that's what you ought to do. That's what I did. I'm going to do it again, too. Do you mind if I take a sip of my dew? Because my mouth is really dry. But there are a few things that you would like to hear, I'm sure. Now, I don't want to get personal here, but hanging out with people that put on a certain face to meet you, to indoctrinate you, once they get you into their fold, then you have to act like they do. And you really think, what do you think the Quran says anyway? It's basically just a biography of that Muhammad, the pervert, pedophile. the one that took his wife at 7, didn't have. He masturbated. What do they call it? He thighed her. There's something, I don't know what they call it. He masturbated on her thighs so that he wouldn't have actual sex with her when she was 9, I guess. Are they reading that part to you? Or that Muhammad's wife told him, go ahead and screw the handmaiden. We need a son. What? What? Are you crazy? How many wives did he have? Oh, that was hundreds of years ago. Then why are they still following it? I don't believe women like you. I just can't understand why you want to put yourself into a cult. Why do you want to? Why do you have to join a cult? I, well, I was trying to remember why you might, and I didn't want to look while I did because I wouldn't want you to look at me while you were thinking about that question. Why do you want to join a cult? They're all cults. How could they not be? Look up the definition. I'm not trying to bring you back to any other religion. I'm trying to save your self-worth, okay? Because you're not going to get it over there. You're not going to get it with the Islamics. You're not going to get self-worth. You're not going to get respect. Even the book Quran tells the men how they must beat their wives. Tells the men how they must beat their children. And if their daughter is not a virgin at the time of her marriage, you're supposed to flog her and stone her. Did you get to that part yet? It's not just in the Bible. The Quran is basically a copy of the Old Testament, written by a different guy. That's all it is. Written in Arabic or whatever instead of Old English or Greek. God, unbelievable. Don't you think it would be a lot easier if you just didn't need a deity? I mean, you seem intelligent. Go to school and learn some more. Learn some science. Why do you need a deity? Why do you have to have a magician? I don't get that. Why do you have to have a magic man in the sky? We already know how things work. The weather, a lot about the moon and the other planets. We know a lot about everything. We're not super beings. We don't know everything. Nobody can. But so what is that? Does that mean that by default there's a God that did it? That's what I always get from these freaky Christians. They're so stupid they don't understand science. And since they don't understand science, by default, God did it. And it's just so ignorant. Unbelievably ignorant. And then you want to brag about joining Islam. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You do that then, little girl. You brag about that all you want. I hope your friends love you for it. I hope they understand that you're just choosing one delusion over another, one pedophile over another. You know what the age of consent is in Arabia? 12. You know what the age of consent is in the Vatican? Yeah, I know. I know. Why would there be an age of consent? I know. There is. It's 12. You know why? Because Mary was 12 when she gave birth to this Jesus dude, supposedly. It's like he had 12 disciples. It's like, yeah, I could go into it, but you wouldn't know anyway. You wouldn't care. You got Orion, this constellation with 3 stars. They're called the 3 kings that follow them to the brightest star in the east called Sirius, and follow that line down to the Horus sun, the Horizon sun, where the sun and the days start getting longer, so the sun returns. Messiah myth. Good night. See you later. That's my answer here. I joined Islam and I'm just so happy. Ask them why are they so glad this building is gone. Ask them why they cheer every time one of their terrorists blows shit up.